as the world evolves, and when I say the world, I more mean the world that humans have created. So like the internet, technology, all this other stuff, as it evolves, we are going to get more and more disconnected from our souls. And the only way to get reconnected through that is going to be through nature and grounding yourself really in that, and like the creations that God has. And that's why the scripture tells you, not to fear, because nature and the world and its, in its normalcy seems scary. And there's certain aspects of it, where us as humans, we protect ourselves from things, so we are not in the position where we're constantly fearing for our lives and in danger. But unfortunately, this wicked world and the world that, our higher ups and our people in power have created is a system that cages us in, that cycle. And we are consistently trapped in our own human instincts, and we're constantly being fed our deepest desires and the things that make our human instincts, that rile up our human instincts. So we are trapped in a cage, at least within this country, and there's certainly other people in other countries who have similar issues that relate. I think the United Kingdom is a place that directly mirrors the U.S. in its own interesting way. There's the same type of regurgitation of entertainment and things that trap its people, mainly men, in a constant feeling of repetition that you need to get, and repetition and dopamine hits, so you constantly need to chase the next high. I think the United Kingdom and the United States have a very similar way of operating, and there's most definitely plenty of other countries that suffer things way worse than how the US and the UK experience it. But nonetheless, we are going to lose ourselves. Not me, God forbid. I feel like people under my circumstances have already experienced things to the fullest extent, and now they're just trying to maneuver things so they don't have to deal with that again. That's all I'm gonna say. But the world, everybody is going to experience that to an even deeper extent, especially when AI starts taking even more control. And AI has been taking its time with it for the last decade or so, and it's slowly starting to unveil itself as well. And we are no longer living in what we thought is normalcy. We're living in a Black Mirror episode. At least in America, our world is a sitcom. Everywhere else just makes fun of America, but they got their own issues and their own issues with power and things. And we're watching all of these powers. We're watching the Hydra bite its head off. Everybody's fighting each other. Everybody built up these powers because they wanted to get the strength. They wanted to be at the top. And now, there only can be one person at the top. There only can be one. But, I don't think it's going to be any of them. Most definitely not. So, like I said, if you want to save yourself from it, I would try to find ways to reconnect with nature. It sounds very, you feel me? Like, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to listen to those types of words. Go outside, touch some grass, get some sun. Especially for my Black brothers and sisters, and my Asian and Mexican, and anybody with melanin. and even to my non-melanated folk. You feel me? Like the white people, the Europeans. You feel me? The Italians. Like y'all need some sun too. Y'all need to get the light. And it's not just about going outside and touching grass. It's about sitting down and reconnecting with who you are and grounding yourself in who you are as a person, and not this identity that you want to create, you know, or this world that you're trying to reach, you know, the riches and the gains that you're trying to attain. None of it really matters for real. I've been practicing what I preach. I love going on these little walks and stuff. I wish it was more attainable. One step at a time. One step at a time. Can't have it all. At least not all at once. Keep your head up, you know? This is really for the people who are just trying to figure out something different. They feel like they're struggling. Go outside. If you have a car, you're even better off. You can drive around and try to find an area that's nice. It doesn't matter where you live. If you live in the valley, if you live in the bay, if you live in the mountains, if you live in the city, if you live in the slums, if you live in a trailer park, if you're homeless, like there's so many opportunities to just go outside. The sun is always there, you know, for now. The water is always here. The ground is always here. The sky and the clouds are always there. You know, those are the things that never leave you. The devil will leave you though. The world will leave you. The world will shun you. It doesn't matter what you are or what you do. They will turn on you in a second. And it'll change in an instant. You can go from rich to poor and famous to unknown in a second. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. You're not special in that circumstance. So, that's all I'm saying.